you're putting guys in situations where they really shouldn't be. But
yeah, and you're putting guys out there who don't quite completely have their head in the game the entire time. Where
you are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, my name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano.
And we are the host of the Locked On Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you for making us your very first listen every single day. Be sure to check out and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Locked On Rays. You can also find us on X and Instagram at Locked On Rays, and email us anytime, lockedonrays@gmail.com. By happenstance, we have a mailbag episode today, a trio of excellent questions from our listeners. So let's not waste any time here and get right to them. This first one comes from Rachel from Tampa. She says, "Good morning, Locked On Rays. The last couple weeks, the Rays have been in and out, especially with that sweep that happened last weekend with the White Sox." Yes, let's please forget that. Please, God. With the way the team is performing, which moves would you suggest the Rays make?
Well, Rachel, thank you for listening and always, sending these emails to us.
I don't know if she's specifically referring to acquisitions, trades, call-ups, demotions.
At first,
where's she going with this? But maybe just in general, shaking things up any which way that you can in late April going into early May.
At first, I thought, acquisitions, and I was just going to be like, no, it's too early and all that. But reading it again, it's like, can anything be done? Can the catering? Can you shake up the catering? Maybe there's a little bit more gluten-free options for the boys to eat. Something, anything. Joe Madden style. Where's the salsa dance band? In the clubhouse. I think
clubhouse concert. Have a little powwow after the game. Get the music going. Have a pep talk. Pour beers on each other. Something. Anything.
I'm all for that. I'm all for getting the team thinking positively. I mean, we know that Monday they won in Milwaukee. Tuesday they lost in Milwaukee. Wednesday we don't know. Peek behind the curtain. But I don't know. I feel like the City Connect news is kind of the shakeup. It's right now, at least for the fandom.
Because we're really not. I mean, the focus has been taken away from the vortex of suck that we've seen on the field of late to look what these guys are going to wear. Look what I'm going to wear. Look what fellow Rays fans are going to wear.
Yeah.
What's everybody talking about? Not that the Rays got swept by the worst team in baseball, but man, those new gear look awesome.
Yeah. It's because and they do. But yeah, it's been critical, the timing that the City Connect jerseys came out, because they needed something like that, and the fandom needed it too. So outside moves, yes, maybe that's the move. Now, something within the team, I don't think it would happen from the outside. It would come from within, and I think we have started to see a little bit of that. Jacob Lopez making some headway there in the bullpen, and Kevin Kelly, and obviously comes with Davinsky getting on the IL and stuff like that. But that's new blood. That's new players coming into a team, which is nice, because you never know what how a new teammate can rub off on somebody that's been there.
Right.
And so at least in the bullpen, we've seen that. We haven't seen that much of that in the position player pool yet. And that's exactly what we needed because, Kevin, if we're being honest, the offense, if you look up and down the lineup, it's a lot of 500, 600s, and 400 OPSs right now. Really, it's Isaac Paredes and Ahmed Rosario that are doing their thing.
Yeah, it's a tough situation because if you're going to pull off some sort of trade, really there's only 3 teams that you could maybe get something going from right now, and that would be the White Sox, that would be the Marlins, and that would
Rockies?
be the Rockies as well. So maybe if there's something from their
the
roster
Rays,
that you like, you could maybe try to pull something out. But I think that it's more or less a waiting game for the Rays to see when the injured guys come back, because there's basically half a roster of dudes. Before long, Shane Baz is going to get his opportunity. Before long, Taj Bradley. Before long, Jonathan Aranda and Johnny DeLuca and Brandon Lau. Like, I think it's just kind of a holding pattern for the next couple weeks, and maybe you can shift the lineup around and give this guy more playing time over that guy. Maybe you can give cute with some of the switches and rotations and things like that. The easiest thing is to shake up the bullpen to some extent, which we've already seen a little bit here. And who knows, maybe if things get really, really porous, you could look from within in AAA and say, okay, let's call up Dom Smith, see what we can see what he can do. Let's call up Alex Jackson, see if he can provide a spark. But outside of that, I think you just have to ride it out until some of the injured guys are able to return and provide a spark.
This team is basically an airplane hovering above the airport, waiting for that call. Hey, you can land now. Oh no, it's 20 minutes. No, I'm sorry, 30 minutes. You're gonna have to hold on. Like that's really what the fandom is being told by the front office. Like, look, we have so many guys coming back. We just have to play basically around 500 ball. And that was the idea coming in to the season. But with the injuries that have happened already within the season, it's like cemented itself as self-fulfilling prophecy. Right. Like, no, we really do have to wait because Brendan Lau, you didn't expect that. I know how people feel about Brendan Lau. I get it, but like the team is better with him in it than without him.
Yeah.
So
at his peak, he's a 4.5, 5 WAR player.
Yeah, exactly. So you're missing that guy from the lineup, and you're missing a guy in Josh Lowe that could potentially have a 2020 season in him, or even possibly a 30-20 season in him. So that's something that you haven't tapped into. And what could Jonathan Aranda become? Certainly, hopefully better than what he has shown in his short major league at bats. We said it the other day, 190 plate appearances. So hopefully better than an 80 OPS plus. So it's just a lot of people that could potentially give you, a little bit more offensive production. Johnny DeLuca, my God, I don't know why, but he always is under the radar from when we talk about people coming back. Johnny DeLuca is one of the most fun players that I think the Rays have targeted in recent years, just because of what he can do defensively and offensively, like all of it. Like he could really become a younger version and more productive version of Manny Margot. And boy, would that be really helpful right now for the Rays to have in the outfield, because you're putting guys in situations where they really shouldn't be. But
and you're putting guys out there who don't quite completely have their head in the game the entire time, where I feel like Johnny DeLuca, based on his personality, he's hungry for that shot, and he's not going to do anything lightly. He's go, go, go. And I think that goes back to, I don't know, he was like a 27th round draft pick. Like, he's always been overlooked and undervalued, and I think he has a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. And now that he might have a pathway to thrive, I think that's really important and impressive. But again, it's not like the season's over. We got a lot of games, a lot of time left. It's one thing to be like the aforementioned White Sox and Marlins and Rockies. Yes, the Rays are last in the division, but it's not like dead last. There's
we're
a couple
disappointed.
games here, 1.5, 2 good series in your back middle of the pack in the division. Like so many other teams, like, I mean, you look at the Cardinals, for example, they're last in the Central, but doesn't mean they can't, make a move and push forward.
I'm just asking for 2 games back. I'm just asking for 2 games back. I'm asking for the Rockies, you fight, and then you blow it out all open. And maybe the Phil Maton walk off there. Like, just give me 2 of those back, and then you're seeing, okay, we really are all right. We're just kind of treading water here. But before we tell folks about something, I'd like to say Tosh Bradley looked really, really, really good in Durham. So 5 innings, no hits allowed. He just was very impressive. So that's a guy that you get to come back into your team. And I know he's not going to be hitting, but that's just going to give, again, that adrenaline back into the clubhouse of like, hey, we got our guy back. And, he's a young guy, but he should be a stud for years to come. Like, he's this Shane McClanahan of 2021, 2022, where you're like, oh, this is the new kid. Like, he's supposed to be really good. That's Tosh right now.
No, he really is. And speaking of that, totally hypothetical question in regards to pitchers. How much different do you think the Rays record would look if they had Glasnow and Kittredge on the roster presently? Because they're tearing it up right now for their respective organizations.
Yes, they are doing amazing things, but I don't think the Rays are losing because of starting pitching. So Tyler Glasnow would be great, but maybe the bullpen would have lost a couple of his games too, or they wouldn't have hit in some
Ryan Pepio. I mean, same thing. Tyler Glasnow, Ryan Pepio.
Pepio is doing
bad there if you're not going to get any run support.
Dude, Pepio was looking real fine on Monday in Milwaukee. Real good. Honestly, if I could go back in time and put some green Skittles on Pepio pitching like he did, I would do it, but I don't know where I would do it though, Kevin.
You'd probably want to go to FanDuel. Why? Because right now new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $150 to bet on spreads, money lines, player props, and more. So visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn, LOCKEDON, to make every playoff shot count. FanDuel, they are America's #1 sports book. That's not all the playing you'll do. You'll also want to utilize Monopoly Go. With Monopoly Go, you can team up with friends for time tournaments where you work together to build up each other's boards. The more you win together, the more awesome prizes you get to unlock. And there's so much to get, like unique stickers you can trade with friends to complete albums for big prizes, cool new playing pieces to travel the boards with, and hilarious emojis for taunting friends when you smash their buildings or heist their vaults. Plus, Monopoly Go feels new and exciting every day with constantly changing tournaments and challenges. A ton include their own unique mini games like digging for treasure or a robot pachinko machine, of all things. And there's always new timed events that help you win big, like massive multipliers for everything you win or rent frenzies. There's always something fun to discover in Monopoly Go. So get off the bench and go download it now for free on Google Play or the App Store. Game on with Monopoly Go. All right, getting to this next mailbag question that we have. It comes from Jonathan from Hilton Head, South Carolina. Jonathan says, first, we need to keep this in perspective. Last year, we had an 8-16 record in July and still won 99 games. This year, we have as many injuries as last July. That being said, our defense has not been as good as the stats say. Curtis Mead is playing out of position and learning new positions. His defense is at best okay. He is giving extra outs which is causing big innings, but this is all around. Most of the new acquisitions are having defensive lapses. The problem of the defensive mental errors by the veterans are a problem.
Well, yeah. Thank you, Coach JJ, for that.
Yeah.
He's right. The Rays did have an awful July in 8-16 record. It's very true. So that doesn't necessarily mean, oh, look, the team is what right now? 14-17?
Yeah.
My
However, the Rays also started that season 13-0, and based on past history and odds, I do not see a 13-0 streak happening anytime this season.
Kevin, why did you read my brain? I had it set up right here. April, Coach JJ, they went 22-6. So yeah, that's right. They did go 8-16, but that April was so yummy. Do we see a 22-6 kind of month in this team?
Not right now, but hopefully.
Can it be done? Sure. I think this team at its best, it can do that. Yes, 100%. Not anytime soon.
Yeah.
Not the way they're playing. So then the question is, okay, what kind of a team is this until they get all the reinforcements back? And we've said this, it's hover around 500. The issue is, though, when they get these pieces back, they better go. Because I know it sounds early because we're still in April and we can still say, hey, it's fine. All right. 1 month of baseball is done, people. So it's early. There's a lot of baseball to be played, but you can't get yourself in a hole that you can't get yourself out of. So that's what's troubling is when this team is really reinforced, it's go time by that time. When it's really fully healthy and all back, it's not going to be tomorrow. It's going to be like in 2-3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks, which then we would be pushing into late May with all of the pieces back. So that's 2 months of baseball done, 4 months back. So it's kind of like, okay, well, you don't get like let's it's okay. No. When this team is fully healthy, it needs to go and go quick.
Question. What do you make of his criticisms of Curtis Mead defensively? So Curtis Mead has already made 3 errors in 23 games and 183 innings. And I will say those aren't cheeky errors. He earned every single one of those because those 3 errors were really, really bad plays. It's like you stuck a high schooler in the major leagues because the throw and or throws and the footwork has been interesting to say the least at second and third base respectively.
It hasn't been the cleanest with the glove, Curtis, and he's not the only one though. I mean, it's also been Jose Siri. We've talked about him too. He already has 2
But Jose
errors.
Siri has no excuse because he's supposed to be an elite defender.
Right.
He's supposed to have his head in the game, where Curtis Mead, that was always the knock on him as a prospect was, does he really have a position? He's still learning the game and the nuances of defense and trying to figure that out. And frankly, when some of these injured guys come back, i.e. Brandon Lowe, Jonathan Aranda, and so on, Curtis Mead might find himself in AAA working on some of these items to get back right in focus because as far as we've seen, he hasn't hit enough to outweigh the defensive mistakes and lapses. And when you make those mistakes, it's not just an E next to your name, but it has a snowball effect on the pitching staff and or reliever that is in the game and leads to a big inning or leads to a loss, frankly.
Yeah. I mean, perfectly said. And from what I'm seeing, again, these stats are from Monday evening. 61 innings, 3 errors for Mead. That's sizable. And you know who's leading the Rays in errors? Jose Caballero.
Caballero.
With 4 in 78 innings. So it hasn't been pretty, with the defensive play out there. I I don't think this is a matter of, oh, it'll get better. I think these things have to be worked out. And maybe with the Siri thing, it's just like a mental thing, and the benching could help. Like, hey, get your head in the game more. Like, I think they did the right thing by Jose last offseason when they went to the DR and told him, hey, you're a center fielder.
Yes.
You're our guy. Like, that was awesome because you give the young player the confidence of like, hey, I'm not just going to be sent down. Like, I have some sort of security, some sort of blanket. Like, I can be myself and go play.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Now we're at the other edge of complacency, of being too sure that you have everything already set up and no chance that it's going to be taken away from you.
Right.
And so you can kind of take that away by the benching. So him being taken out in that series, I think, is not only a warning shot to Jose Siri, but it's also a warning shot to other guys.
Right.
Nothing here is being given freely. You have to earn it. And I think that's a great way of dealing with professional athletes when at times they might forget.
Yeah. And to Jonathan's point, I mean, yes, veterans are making some mistakes as well, but they're also playing out of position. Ahmed Rosario never played corner outfield before at the big league level or not any big time extent. So that's still an adjustment for him, playing in the Trop, no less. Randy Arozarena, when was the last time he played center field? So there's a lot of factors there. And I think with Curtis Mead, just pulling up his numbers on Savant, in fielding run value, he ranks in the 20th percentile. That's not good, folks. In range, he ranks in the 14th percentile. And in arm strength, he ranks in the 26th percentile. I look at this a couple ways with Curtis Mead. I think that the Rays have to identify and figure out where do they see him long term. Are they going to try to mold him into a guy who has average / below average defense that can play or be plugged in at multiple spots? Or do you want to try to get him comfortable at one position and keep him there, i.e. second base, which is probably the best home for him? Or are you just going to gamble with, we're just going to have to stick you wherever we stick you and hope that a lot of balls don't come your way and you don't, step all over them?
It's been 156 innings at second, 27th, almost 30 innings at third. Like, you're moving him around. A young player who's just trying. He's just 23. Let's remember this. He's 23. So some guys can do it and just move around and all that. But he was never a move around guy. He was never a glove like Caballero. He's been a glove guy first. So you can move those guys. But when you're a hitter first, that's what Curtis Mead has been known for throughout the minors. It's like, this guy can hit. He can hit. So now you're putting this on top of him, like, hey, go to third. Hey, go to second. Like, I think we also, just to play devil's advocate here, it's a tough gig. And I think at times maybe we forget that. But I think what we should not forget, is that price picks is what we need to use. Okay. You need to get it because baseball season is officially underway, and you don't want to miss your chance to add your favorite players from the diamond into your price pick entries. I mean, it can be strikeouts, it can be RBIs, first inning runs. You can take your pick of more or less and add them to your price picks entry today. You can do that. Also, if you're into basketball, hey, the playoffs are there, so why not have some fun? Download the app today. Use code LOCKEDONMLB, LOCKEDON MLB, for a first deposit match of up to $100. Again, download the app today. Use code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100.
Yeah, the other thing, too, before we move on with Curtis Mead is, I think, as Evan has mentioned previously on the program, he's going to need to bulk up, and we'll probably have to spend this offseason working on adding 10, 15 pounds, going with the Randy Arozarena push-ups, chicken and rice method, because you got to, at least to some extent, even if you're only playing second base, drive the ball a little bit more, because we're seeing, I mean, besides the overall numbers not looking great, just not great contact. Yeah, it's singles, and that's
Question.
about it. Singles up
Do
the
you
middle
think
and the other way a little bit, which isn't, terrible, but you want a little bit more from a guy, and he's not fully developed either. I think that's the other thing. But
again 23?
It's
You have to
something that if you're
develop.
going to have staying power, we joke about Matt Duffy, but you got to bring more to the table than Matt Duffy did.
I mean, it's a different type of baseball that is being played. Like the OPS is important. So yeah, you got to get on base, and you have to, when you get on base, and you got to hit for some damage, some pop. If he is sent down, do you think the Rays do a little bit of like, okay, can you play left field? Can we
I would
stick you in left?
experiment with anything and everything at that point. Yeah. Do what you have to do. That's why you're in AAA to develop. You're not trying to win games in AAA.
Right? You're not. I mean, yeah, if you win, great. But like, this is just basically like an opportunity for him. Like, okay, third base, we didn't really like what he showed at third base, second baseman. Maybe the errors weren't there. Okay, what can we do with you in left field? Because Randy Arozarena is gone after this year.
Yeah.
So if you like Mead's bat and you want to have that opportunity, maybe left field is a place where you can stick him in there.
And maybe, again, just based on the bend in the footwork, maybe outfield is a better home for him. That remains to be seen for sure. Speaking of Randy, we do have a question on him from, I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, Dizel Laguna. Hopefully. Hey guys, would you move Arozarena a little down the lineup while he is struggling, and maybe put one of your hot bats like Rosario up in the lineup? Would you let him in the same spot to figure it out?
Well, thank you, Daciel, for writing to us. I think it's the first time that he or she writes us. So as we're recording on Tuesday evening,
yes,
Randy went 0 for 4 with 2 Ks.
That's pretty much par for the course this year for Randy, considering his batting average, on base percentage, OPS, OPS plus, strikeout rate. Need I go further?
He is hitting 143 with a 461 OPS. In the last 15 games, he's hitting 89. Folks, he is hitting 89. That's a 0.089 with a 161 slug. Like, I understand.
Might be better off signing Zach Greinke and sticking him in left field and utilizing Greinke's bat at this point, at this juncture. Something has to be done, and I know it's unsavory to put your present franchise face. You got Randy Land, you got the promos, you got everything that surrounds him down in the order, but it's not unfathomable. Last year, the Mariners did it with Julio Rodriguez. So maybe that would be enough of a gut punch for him to say, okay, maybe I will remove myself from this business of just trying to hit it the other way, because I hit a couple Oppo home runs earlier in the season, and actually listen to what Kevin Cash and the hitting coach Chad Mottola are telling me and instructing me, so I can get back to vintage Randy.
Well, I mean, and you're not gonna, again, like, I'm gonna say it again, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result is insanity. And why does the Rays front office and Kevin Cash and company keep doing the same bleeping thing by putting Randy bleeping and Arozarena in the bleeping second, third, or bleeping fourth spot in the order? Bleeping, stop it.
Do they feel that, I guess, playing devil's advocate, to my last point and to your point, that moving him down in the order would almost make him check out, a la Jose Siri? Would he actually do that? and throw a temper tantrum of why are you throwing me down bottom third of the order?
Well, buddy, if
That's
you don't
the risk
understand what you're being put in the order, look at over there, that Jumbotron. You see those numbers? That's why you're down. Like,
Look at all
and I
those pitches
understand.
down the middle that you're not doing anything with.
And then swinging at things that have a different zip code than the stadium that you're playing in. Like, look, you have a very valid point. Would that make him check out by hitting 5th, 6th, 7th instead of 2nd, 3rd, and 4th? Maybe that would make him check out. But Kevin Cash is not the manager of Randy Arozarena. Kevin Cash is the manager of the Tampa Bay Rays. He cannot put Randy's ego
at one point in time.
He cannot put Randy's ego above the team. And the Rays front office is not the Randy Arozarena front office. It is the Tampa Bay Rays front office. So stop coddling one single player. Like, it's not right. You're right now. You're struggling. You're struggling right now. So let's do something different so that we can get you back and get you doing numbers for us, for the team. And guess what? If you're producing, Randy, you're going to get paid like you want to get paid next year and the year after that. And then when you're a free agent, you're going to get paid. Like, it's just it could be a mutually beneficial thing to just do something different than just hoping that he figures it out. Batting 2nd, 3rd, or 4th. Like, you can do something about this.
And all else being equal, you would think that it would allow some pressure to be taken off of him and maybe just focus and settle in a little bit more. Just saying. And I mean, we don't really need maybe 1 or 2 less at bats from Randy for the next little bit. Might be okay for him to straighten up here. But I've not checked the numbers lately, but that has to be last or second worst in the bigs. He's got to be neck and neck with Joey Gallo as far as worst batting average.
Oh, batting average?
Yeah.
Possibly.
Now, that brings up my next point.
I'm going to look it up right now.
While you're looking that up, do you believe that Randy will finish the season above the Mendoza line?
Yes. He's going to figure it out. The thing is, you have to start though. And you have to start and you have to start quick. So Joey Gallo is incredibly correct. 122. 122 in 91 plate appearances. 91. In 90 plate appearances, Emmanuel Valdez has 146. So basically the same plate appearances, 20 points higher. But in 3rd place, batting a cool 143. Actually, 148 here because we are updated in my phone, 143. So he's now currently 2nd. 119 plate appearances, man. He has more plate appearances than these two guys and is basically neck and neck. So yeah, ergo, pretty bad. Pretty bad. Do something about this, though. Like, I understand that they might be working in the cages. I understand that they might be giving him numbers, Mottola and Cash in the front office, and they're just feeding him information, or they're like leaving him be. Whatever they're trying to do, I know they're doing something off the scene. But when it's game time, you can do something there too. And moving him down in the order could be beneficial because, like you said, worst case scenario, you're taking one at bat away from him.
What about minor league assignment? He's got 2 options. How bad does it have to get before they would send him down?
I think it would have to be very.
Like, he'd have to go like 0 for 40. 0 for his next 40
have to. I think he would have to be doing this until like late May, but he does have options, so it is a possibility.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, they did it for Jose Abreu. Just did it with the Houston Astros. I know they had to talk about it because he's obviously a veteran and doesn't have options, but it can be done. It can be done. It has been done. So hopefully not. Hopefully he starts to break out of it. But Kevin Cash and the Rays front office have an obligation to do something about it, not off the field. We know you're doing something off the field and we clap for it. Good job. Do something when it's game time. And what you can do, it's get him down in the order.
Yeah. And again, Randy isn't the only established big leaguer struggling. There's a lot of other guys, aforementioned Joey Gallo, but Gleyber Torres is going through it right now. Nick Castellanos is going through it right now. Paul Goldschmidt is going through it right now. And Randy notoriously has been pretty momentum. There's been momentum swings month to month in his career arc where he has like a 200 month, then a 400 month. So you hope that that's coming in May, is that he pops off and rolls from there. And then the Rays start winning games after that. But something has to give. But it is very, very telling what Matola and Cash are saying outright to the media about what Randy is not doing and what he should be doing. And it's right there for the taking. Just read the quotes. Just saying. So
if the quotes are so clear, what are you doing about it when the game starts?
Yeah, that's fair. All right. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe, and we will talk to you on Friday.